Hey, everybody. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Sunday. This is Jade Scarlet with It's Art O'Clock Somewhere. And it's been a hot minute since I've been here live. And today I want to share with you guys my brand new set of Arteza Watercolor Half Pen. And this is a lovely set. It comes with 36 colors as well as a water brush. So I figure oops, I swatch it with you guys so we can see what those lovely colors look like. And then we're going to paint something. We're going to paint some puppies with it and test out those colors in real life. So if you want to get the tracer for the puppies so you can paint as well as also if you want to get a discount coupon for the Arteza watercolors, just go to my website and there is a link in the comments and sign up for my email, join our community, and I will send you the tracer so you can paint those puppies and a nice coupon code so you can get your Arteza watercolors for a little bit less, because who doesn't want to save some money, right? So before I get started, I am going to send it. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm just trying to make sure that I have the comment in the comment box. Yes, it's right there. So you can check it out and get yours too. So without further ado, I'm going to switch to the overhead camera so we can start swatching these colors and see how beautiful they are. All right, so give me 1 second. And I'm going to get the other camera on. So, cam mic. And here we go. Aha. And here is the set. Just adjust the camera a little bit. We need a little bit more light, so let me turn on. Oh, much better now, right? Yeah. So I unwrapped all of the cakes previous because they all came wrapped, and I unwrapped and they are ready to be used. So you have 36 colors, plus you have room here to add some more empty pens so you can have whatever colors you want. So this is like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So you can actually put 12 more colors here if you have some favorite colors from another pen and you just want to make it all in one. The word just disappeared. If you just want to have everything compacted here, you can go ahead and do this. So you have space for more colors even. They also give you a water brush. So I've already filled it out with some water. So we can use it. And I can see, because I never really used Arteza's water brush pens. So let's see how good they are. And they send you this chart so you can swatch all your colors. And what I like about it, right off the bat, I have to say, is that they give you real watercolor paper, because a lot of watercolor sets, they also give you a little chart like this so you can swatch your colors, but they're just regular paper. Like, for example, this one that I have right here, it's kind of like a glossy paper, so you really don't have a chance to see how the paint is going to settle on the paper. So I really appreciate that Arteza is giving us real watercolor paper. So I see here that they have a nice selection of colors, lots of all the primaries. And let's just see what they look like. So what I'm going to do to make it easier, I'm going to activate all the colors And I'm going to do that with a spray bottle. And I'm just going to wet all of the colors, and that is going to be easier. It's going to make it easier to remove the pigment. So whenever you are reactivating, working with a pen set like this, it's always a good idea to mist them with some water, because it's just going to make it easier to remove the pigment if they're activated with water. So let's put them on the side here and make sure that we have both. So I'm going to put it here. And let's use their water brush and see how it works. And I have some water here. And I have a rag to just rinse the brush in between colors. And oops, that little lid just. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so our first color is lemon yellow. So I want to put it up here at full strength. Then what I'm going to do is bring it downwards with just a little bit of extra water to see what it looks like when the color is a little bit more diluted. So the next one is cadmium yellow. So this is supposed to be a little bit warmer than the lemon yellow, and also a little bit more opaque, which is usually true for cadmiums. Now, this is a student set, so I don't really expect this to be real cadmium. I don't even think you can get real cadmiums anymore in the US. I think it's been outlawed here. It's been outlawed in Europe for a very long time. So this is going to be a substitute for cadmium yellow. So here we have Sunburst Yellow. And this one feels really thick and opaque. This actually looks a lot like yellow ochre, I would say. Let me come a little bit closer here so you can see it better. And I'll just move this. Next one is Oriole, which again, it's not real Oriole. This pigment is quite expensive, so this is just going to be a synthetic version of it. And to be honest, real Oriole is very fugitive, which means it fades with time. So you really don't even want to have a real Oriole anyways. So a substitute, a synthetic substitute will be better. And you know what? I'm going to get another brush. I feel that the water brush is releasing too much water for my taste. So I'm just going to get a regular brush. So the next one is Naples Yellow. And this here looks quite interesting because, yeah, this is, I'm sorry, this is nothing like Naples Yellow, which is a color that I happen to love very, very much. That was too much water. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not loving this. It's nothing like real Naples Yellow, which is a very creamy, it's almost the color of banana cream, like banana pudding. That's what Naples Yellow looks like. And it's a historical color. It's been around for hundreds of years. And this is kind of like, I'm not even sure what that is. It's very orangey, I would say. Now the next one is Golden Yellow. So this is a pretty color. As the name implies, it's a really beautiful gold yellow. So I'm liking it. Very lovely color. The next one is Chrome Orange. So So let's get a little bit of this. Nice. And chrome orange is also a more traditional color. And this one here does not disappoint. So lovely orange. Then we have saffron orange. Really interested in seeing. Oh, this is a very reddish orange. Nice color. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Beautiful. Then we have cadmium red light hue, which again, just like the cadmium yellow, it's not going to be real cadmium. It's going to be a synthetic version. Nice color. I like it. The next one is a very traditional pigment as well, Scarlet Red. Now, Scarlet Red, it's usually a very warm, orangey red. So this here is much cooler than one would expect a Scarlet Red to be. So this is closer to a cooler red than one would expect for a scarlet color. So this one here is amaranth. So I have no idea what this is supposed to look like. And oh, that's beautiful. That is a really cool red. I would say this is really close to permanent rose. You know what? I'm going to put this on the side here so I can zoom in on the actual swatch. So yeah, this is lovely. It looks like a permanent rose, so very nice for mixing. The next one is magenta. So, and I'm starting with the mass tone and then diluting it to see what it looks like when it's diluted. I'd say this is a little less blue than a real magenta, but it's nice, good for mixing. Now we're going for violet. So let's see what this baby looks like. One thing that I wish though is that they had given us the pigment information so I know exactly what they have in the color and I can judge it better. But unfortunately, we don't have that information. So what I'm going to do to test the light fastness of these colors and to see how they respond to sunlight, I am going to leave this swatch in the direct sunlight and see how they fade over time, just to understand the light fastness of each color for myself, since they don't provide us any information. Now here is what they call Oxford Blue. To me, that looks very similar to Ultramarine. It's a reddish blue. Yeah, it looks very much like Ultramarine. It even has the granulation of Ultramarine. So I'm really liking this color. So happy with this brush though. So it's just kind of releasing way too much water super fast. I find something that can be a little more reliable. It's like all those brushes here and I can't find the one that I'm looking for. So typical. Oh, here we go. Let's see what this one does. Okay, I'm going for a round. Yeah, so this looks a lot like Ultramarine. The next one, it's a blue violet. So this is a mixture of something with white. I can see that there is white mixed in here, not a lot. So that's a very pretty periwinkle color, I would say. Now, one thing that I noticed is that they didn't give us an actual white. And I don't use white to mix, and this here is indigo. I don't really use white to make my colors light. I use more water, but I like to have white in a set if I want to create a more opaque pastel color. Now, this is a lovely indigo, and indigo is really good for making shades, which is darker versions of your colors. It mixes very well to make beautiful, very natural looking greens. Here's, oops, not enough water, Prussian blue. This is not really real Prussian blue pigment. This is just phthalo blue, which is the pigment that we have here right next door. It's just making a little bit more blackened by probably the addition of a black pigment. So that's Prussian. Now let's see the actual phthalo blue, which should be the pure pigment. So you see the difference here. The phthalo blue, it's a little bit brighter. So this is probably just the pure phthalo blue pigment, which is quite an inexpensive pigment compared to other historical pigments or quinacridones or a lot of other more pricey pigments. So just Prussian blue here is actually phthalo blue with a little bit of black added, I would say. The next color is cerulean blue, and this I absolutely know it's not going to be real cerulean blue because real cerulean pigment is expensive, and this is just, again, a modified phthalo blue. This one is a little disappointing because it's nothing like real cerulean blue, but hey, it's okay. We don't even need this many blues, to be honest, so we're all good. We can just play with these different pigments. So here is deep ocean blue. And this is good stand-in for Cobalt Blue, which is another expensive pigment that you would never find in an artist, I mean, in a student quality palette. So, but it's a really nice color. It looks a lot like real Cobalt Blue, so I'm liking it. Ooh, turquoise. So again, this is another, all of these colors, to be honest, they're probably all based on phthalocyanine blue pigment, just slightly modified to create all those beautiful colors. And I like this turquoise. I would probably add just a little bit more green to make it a little more to my like, which we can mix very easily. So next is Prussian Green, which I would say is turquoise, but mixed with a little bit of black. So it gives that more muted version of the turquoise. Honestly, they're so close together that I'd rather just have another color. It's kind of like unnecessary to have both, but that's okay. So next we have Jade Green, and I'm really curious to see what this color looks like. I like it. It looks a lot like Viridian. So this makes me happy because I love Viridian Green. True Viridian pigment is one of my favorite colors in watercolors. And this here does a really good job at imitating Viridian green. Then we have Spring Green, which to me looks a lot like Permanent Green Light, which is a very typical watercolor, traditional, I would say, watercolor pigment. Lovely, lovely green. So now we have here Olive Green, which I always love. And you can very, very easily, oops, too much water there, very, very easily make olive green with lemon yellow and ultramarine. But I use it a lot, so I really appreciate having it ready. And this is a nice earthy green, as olive green should be. I like it. Now let's see this Fern Green, what it's all about. Very nice. It actually looks a lot like Cobalt Green Dark by Schminke, which is a German brand of watercolors that I love very much. And this color here in particular that I'm talking about by Schminke is one of my favorite greens. So really love that this color is present here in this palette. Let me add a little bit more. Now we have a cobalt green here, and let's see if they did a good job at imitating real cobalt green. Not really. That would be a little bit bluer than this, but I like it. It's nice, and we can definitely adjust it with a little bit more blue to make it closer to olive green. So now we come to a series of earth colors, and the first one is yellow ochre. Nice yellow ochre, nice muted yellow. This is one of my go-to colors in any given landscape palette. Here is Prussian Red, and I would say this is very close to light red, which is a traditional color. So I do like the addition of this color because it can be very useful in portraits, in landscapes, etc. Now let's see what this deep red is all about. Okay, so this here is similar to Indian red, which is another traditional pigment that is a very opaque. Real Indian red is really, really opaque. It's almost pasty. That's how thick and opaque it is. So, love it. Next one is rust red. And I'm assuming this probably going to be like a red oxide. And yes, it looks a lot like red oxide. Now, burnt sienna, which is a very traditional pigment. I don't know how to paint a landscape without my burnt sienna. And it's quite red, which I like. I prefer the redder burnt sienna, so I'm happy with it. Then another traditional color, and that I always have on my landscape palettes, is burnt umber. It's a little bit redder than I would expect burnt umber, but it works. Now this here is mahogany. This could be anything. So let's see what it is. It's an interesting red, a little bit warmer than the burnt umber. Honestly speaking, not very necessary because we could have easily mixed this burnt umber with a little bit of this rust red and have that mahogany, but it's so good. Now we're getting to Sepia, which is a really interesting dark brown. Again, a very traditional color and very nice to make shades better than black, I would say. And then finally we have black, which is most likely ivory black. Yes, so ivory black is a warmer black. And I hardly ever use black pigment in watercolor, but here we go. Here is the entire collection. Now, I'm going to be honest. I would rather have less yellows because honestly speaking, you don't need that many yellows, and have some more of the earth color. So I would love to have a raw umber and a raw sienna, maybe more greens. I don't know. I think it's a little bit like that's too many yellows. I don't really know what to do with all of them. And also too many blues. I would probably, get rid of some of them. But they can all be very useful in painting different subjects. So there we go. We can mix all of that. Now, here they also give you a blank space, and that's if you want to add empty pens and fill it with your own favorite colors, which I was thinking I have some colors here from this little palette. They're handmade colors, and I happen to love them a lot. So if I want to kind of expand this palette a little bit, I can put this that I have in this tin, and I think that's going to be much more effective to have it here that you have in this little tin. So I'm going to add them here, and then I'll swatch them. Just gonna try to put this in some sort of order. This here is a lovely shell pink that I happen to enjoy quite a lot. And I think it'll be much easier to use those colors here than to have them in this little tin. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit all of them. Oh, you know what? They actually go this way. They fit. So I think I'll be able to fit more colors if I put them like this. Those are handmade watercolors, and artist Christy Rice makes them, and they are so beautiful, and they have this lovely smell of cloves, and that's because clove oil is, oh my god, I'm making a mess. Clove oil has a what's the word I'm looking for? Preservative. Action. Took forever for that word to come out. And that's why I kind of made a mess here. But I'll just clean them. Probably should swatch. And this is my favorite, which is a chromatic black. And yeah, look at that. They all fit there. So that's lovely. I can use them from here. I'll swatch them later. And now what I'm going to do is paint those puppies using this palette. Okay, so here is the puppies.